Namaskara. Okay, let us discuss the calculation of underwriter's liability under case number 3. Case number 3 is this: when there is open and partial underwriting by only one underwriter. That means it's a open underwriting and it's a partial. So the underwriter is not going to underwrite the entire issues of the company. So it's therefore we call it as partial underwriting. Suppose if the volume of the issue is 1 lakh shares, and if the underwriter has agreed to take 80% of it, then the number of shares the underwriter is going to underwrite is 80,000. The remaining 20,000, it has to be underwritten by the company itself. So this is the format. So gross liability of the underwriter. See, in our example, since he is going to underwrite 80% of the total issue, so and since the total issue size of the company is 1 lakh, the gross liability of the underwriter is 80,000. Then from that we have to deduct the credit given to him or to the underwriter in respect of the surplus accruing to the company. See how we get it. See, for example, like in this case 20,000 is to be underwritten by the by the company, because 80,000 shares are being underwritten by the underwriter, and the remaining 20,000 is to be underwritten by the company itself. And if there are you get the unmarked applications. These are the applications which are not having any, which doesn't carry any seal of the underwriter, so they are called as unmarked applications. So these unmarked applications are supposed to be credited to the company, but see, the liability of the company, if the liability of the underwriter is lesser than the unmarked applications credited to him, that excess or the surplus should be credited to the underwriter, and that should be deducted from his liability. In our example, see, the number of shares that the company is going to underwrite is 20,000, and if the unmarked applications are 25,000, then there is a balance of 5,000. That means the liability of the underwriter is 20,000, but the unmarked applications are 25,000. This 5,000 becomes a surplus, and that should be credited to the underwriter by deducting that from the gross liability. Then so we get the balance, and from that we have to deduct the marked applications. So marked applications in my example is 80,000. Sorry, the marked applications are supposed to be deducted. Sorry, that's not 80,000. Number of marked applications will be given in the problem, so that should be deducted, and so that we get the net liability of the underwriter. Now let us discuss an example. ABC Limited issued 20,000 debentures of ₹100 each. 80% of the issue was underwritten by XYZ Limited. Applications for 15,000 debentures were received in all, out of which applications for 10,000 were marked. That means remaining 5,000 is unmarked. That has to be credited to the company. So we have to determine the liability of the underwriter, who is none other than XYZ Limited. Okay, now we have the XYZ Limited, which is the underwriter, and we have ABC Limited, which is the company, and so the last column is total. So first gross liability, see, 80% of 20,000, which is 16,000, and remaining 20% is to be underwritten by the company itself. 20% of 20,000 is 4,000, so total it is 20,000. From that we have to deduct the unmarked application, that should be credited to the underwriter. So what is unmarked applications? 15,000 is total applications received, out of which 10,000 are marked. Remaining 5,000 is unmarked application, so that should be credited to the company itself. Okay, now the thing is like, see, the total applications, unmarked applications credited to the company is 5,000, whereas its liability is 4,000. So therefore there is a surplus. So look at the balance. The surplus is 1,000, and in the next step, that 1,000 should be credited to the underwriter by deducting that from the gross liability of him. Okay, credit given to XYZ Limited in respect of the surplus accruing to the company. So this 1,000 is to be deducted here, so that we get a balance. So balance of XYZ Limited 15,000. So there is no balance for ABC Limited, and the total liability, so total is 15,000. Now from that we have to deduct the marked applications. The marked application portion is here 10,000, so that should be deducted from the balance of the underwriter, so that we get a net liability, so 5,000, and the total is 5,000. So I think it's very simple to understand. First we have to find out the gross liability. It is based on the proportion of issue underwritten by the underwriter. So in this case it is 80%, then 80% of 20,000 it is 16,000. Suppose if the proportion of underwriting by the underwriter, if it is 68%, then 60% of 20,000, here it becomes 12,000 and here it becomes 8,000. So only that is the one. And one more is like unmarked application. So that should be credited to the company by deducting that amount from the liability. So here it is marked applications are 10,000. If the marked applications are 12,000, then this becomes 3,000. Say 15,000 minus 12,000. But in our example, it is marked applications are 10,000 and total applications received 15,000. Now let us move on to the next situation. Case number 4. When there is and partial underwriting by 2 or more than 2 underwriters. In our previous example case, we had only one underwriter, but in this case we have more than one underwriter. Okay, now first one, gross liability of each underwriter, and then less surplus accruing to the company in respect of unmarked applications credited to each underwriter. So that is the one. So after deducting that, we get a balance. Then less credit given to the each underwriter in respect of surplus accruing to the company. Then you get a balance. Then from that you have to deduct the marked applications of each underwriter. Then we get the balance. Then from that, surplus accruing to any other underwriter, or it should be credited to each of the underwriter, so that we get a net balance. That is net liability of the underwriter. So let us discuss or study in detail, understand this particular concept with an example. Now let us discuss, understand this concept, case number 4 with an example. Company issues 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. 60% of the issue were underwritten by bulls and bears in the ratio 3:2. Only 60% is being underwritten by these underwriters. So this is a partial underwriting. Applications for 80,000 shares were received in all, out of which marked applications were bull 25,000 and bear it is 12,000. So total it is 25 plus 12,000 means 37,000. The remaining are like unmarked applications. We have to find out the liability of the underwriter. Okay, so we have bull, bear and company and total shares. So gross liability, see 1 lakh is to be divided between these two, 1 lakh, out of 1 lakh, 60% of 1 lakh, 60% of 1 lakh is 60,000. That 60,000 should be divided between these two underwriters in the ratio 3:2. In the ratio 3:2. So the total liability is 1 lakh. 40% the company has to underwrite, because only 60% is underwritten by the company. So that 60,000 is to be divided between bull and bear in the ratio 3:2. So each one, so bulls gets 36,000 shares and bears get 24,000 shares. From this, deduct unmarked applications credited to the company. What is the total number of applications? Unmarked applications. So total applications 80,000. In that the marked applications are 25,000 plus 12,000, 37,000. So hence it is 43,000. Okay, so that should be credited to the company. Credited here 43,000, so that we get a balance. Then this balance has to be distributed between the underwriters. So look at here, this balance, so 43,000 is the unmarked applications portion, but his liability is just 43,000. So there is a surplus of 3,000. And in the next stage, that 3,000 is to be redistributed between these two underwriters in the ratio 3:2. So that we get a balance 34,200, 22,800 and total it is 57,000. Then we have to deduct the marked applications 25,000 and 12,000. How do you get it? It's already given in the problem. So that should be, they are supposed to be deducted. So that we get a net liability 9,200 and 10,800. So very simple. First you find out the gross liability. Calculation of gross liability depends upon the proportion of underwriting by the underwriters. So in our example, 60% of 1 lakh, it is 60,000. That is divided between these two underwriters in the ratio 3:2 given ratio. Next step, we have to find out the unmarked applications. Unmarked applications is equal to total applications minus marked applications. So total applications 80,000, marked applications 25,000 plus 12,000 is equal to 37,000. So unmarked applications 43,000. So they are deducted first, so that we get a surplus to the company, and that is redistributed between underwriters in the ratio 3:2, so that we get the balance. From the balance, we have to deduct the marked applications. So hence we get a net liability. Discuss case number 5. So when there is complete underwriting by a sole trader coupled with firm underwriting, gross liability of the underwriter. So first one is gross liability of the underwriter. Then from that deduct total applications received by the company from the public. So public includes public through underwriter, public directly, and firm applications of the underwriter. So this has to be deducted so that we get a balance, and that is called as a liability of the underwriter under normal underwriting. So under normal underwriting agreement. So then for that we have to add underwriter's liability under firm underwriting, so that we get the total liability of the underwriter. So very simple. First we have to find out the gross liability of the underwriter. Then we have to deduct from that the total applications received by the company from the public. So and we get a balance, and that is the liability of the underwriter under normal underwriting. Since it is a firm underwriting, you know what do you mean by firm underwriting. So here firm underwriting is a system where the underwriter is going to underwrite the specified, or like the underwriters are going to take up the specified number of shares which they have underwritten. So this is called as firm underwriting. So that the liability under the firm underwriting has to be added, so that we get the total liability of the underwriter. Now let us understand this with an example. Arun Limited issued 10,000 shares of rupees 100 each. The whole issue was underwritten by Mr. Madhav. In addition, there is a firm underwriting of rupees of 2,000 shares by Mr. Madhav. Applications for 9,000 shares were received by the company in all. So we have to calculate the liability of the underwriter. So the issue size is 10,000 shares. The whole issue was underwritten. So this is a complete underwriting. And the firm underwriting number of shares is 2,000. Applications received are like 9,000 by the company. Now let us solve this case. Okay, statement showing the liability of Mr. Madhav. Okay, so here the gross liability is 10,000. Total applications received by the company, total is 9,000. Look at here, the total applications received includes all applications received by the company from the public directly, plus firm applications received, plus marked applications received through underwriting. Okay, all are supposed to be deducted. 9,000 is deducted here, so that we get a net liability of the underwriter under the normal underwriting arrangement. So it is 1,000. So then for that we have to add the liability under firm underwriting. What is the liability under firm underwriting? It is 2,000. After adding this, we get the total liability of the underwriter, which is 3,000. Thank you.